Hello my friends and welcome to Little Literati. I'm Jess and I wanted to start today's video by saying thank you. I've been on BookTube for just over a week now and I have received such a warm and welcoming reception with so many kind comments and already even a few subscribers. So I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate it and thank you for welcoming me into your community. As some of you know from previous videos, I have a goal to read on average 10 books a month at least until the end of the year. So today's video is devoted to the 10 books that I've selected for the month of November. Each of these books is a separate series or a standalone book. Often these books are the first book in this series because I wanted to give myself room to go in two different directions. If I really love this series, I already have several of the sequels checked out and waiting in the wings so that I can dive right in. If I don't like the series, I didn't want to have to feel like I was obligated to read sequels that I wasn't going to enjoy just to meet my quota. So 10 different series, 10 different stories. The first one that I've picked for this month is Den of Wolves. This is the third book in the Blackthorn and Grimm series. The first two were Dreamer's Pool and A Tower of Thorns. I was really excited for this book for several months now. The first two books in the series were fun, but I wasn't as surprised as I probably should have been by the plot twists because the author had already used them in previous series. So I'm hoping that this one is a little bit more surprising, but I've been looking forward to this for months now, and I was the first person in my library district to put my name on the waiting list, and it just arrived, so I'm really excited to get started on this. My classic for the month is Little Women. This is a reread for me. I've read this several times growing up, but I wanted to reread it as an adult so I could get a different perspective on the characters' relationships, and I wanted something really quick and easy as far as classics go to read this month because we're starting in the holiday season, so I wanted something that I could just flip through and read really quickly so that I could get to the other books on my list for this month. I grabbed Enchanted just as an impulse at the library. It seems like a really cutesy, fun story. This is one of at least 3 in this series. The other 2 that I saw there were Hero and Dearest. And based on the inside covers, this is a series about 7 sisters, each of them named after a day of the week. And this is Sunday's story and her interactions and adventures with the Frog Prince. So I think this will be a really cute, fun read. This is actually the second book in this series. The first book, which is Something Strange and Deadly, is still listed as being in transit from a different library district to mine. I'm hoping it will arrive on my hold shelf in the next couple of days so that I can get started on it because this looks really, really interesting and intriguing to me, and I want to be able to read the whole series. The story seems to take place in a dark steampunk alternate universe of 19th century time period, and I love the 19th century, so I was really, really excited about this series, and I'm hoping that I can start it soon. This is An Ember in the Ashes. I have heard so many wonderful things about this series. There's a sequel called The Torch Against the Night, and I don't know very much about it. I know that it's supposed to take place in a world that's inspired by the Roman Empire, but I've had so many people tell me that it's absolutely fantastic and that I needed to read it. They wouldn't really tell me what it was about. They just said I needed to find out for myself, so I checked it out. I will find out for myself. Speaking of ashes, another book that I've heard wonderful things about that also has ashes in the title is Snow Like Ashes. This one seems to have multiple realms within the world. So there's the Kingdom of Winter. I'm assuming there are going to be kingdoms of other seasons as well, which reminds me of Pixie Hollow from the Tinkerbell movies. Can you tell that I have 3 little girls? But I'm interested to see what happens with those kingdoms. It seems like they're going to go to war, at least 2 of them, because there are 2 kingdoms on the cover. And I've heard wonderful things about this, so I'm excited to see what all the hype's been about. This is Truth Witch. Speaking of magical powers and abilities, this is a story about a whole society of different kinds of witches. People have different powers and abilities. So the main character is a truth witch, and she has the ability to tell when people are telling her the truth and when people are lying to her. And this is a very, very valuable gift that many kingdoms and empires are willing to fight and even kill for. So she's on the run with her friend, and hopefully they can escape the evil clutches of all of the evil world leaders. Oh, the sequel comes out to this one in January, and it's Wind Witch, and I'm really excited about it. This is A School for Unusual Girls. This also takes place in the 19th century, although more towards the Regency side of it than the Victorian era. This seems really fun, and like it won't be a very long read at all. I'm still unsure about whether or not the unusual girls in this story have actual powers, paranormal powers, or if they're just blue stockings and a little bit more brainy than the girls their age or in that time period were. So I think that they're supposed to be training to be spies, but I don't know if they're going to be kind of like the X-Men and have powers that will kind of help them in their missions. We'll have to find out. There are 2 other books in the series. There is Exile for Dreamers, which is already out, and then next spring is A Refuge from Masterminds. So we'll see how everything turns out. This is Bitter Greens. This is interesting, to me anyway, because it is supposed to be a retelling of the Rapunzel fairy tale, which, I don't know if you can tell by now, I like retellings of fairy tales. But it also brings into play the story of the French novelist Charlotte Rose de la Force. So it has a real historical person tied into the story of Rapunzel. So I think that'll be a really, really interesting read. The last book on my list is Drums of Autumn, which is the 4th book in the Outlander series. I finished Voyager, which was the 3rd one last month. These are really, really long books. This one is 880 plus pages, and they take a really long time to get into because they're really dense. It's not even like the font is small. This is big. This is really small font. And they're just really dense stories. But I need to be able to finish this one so that I can take several of the books back to my mom. These are actually my mom's books that she lent me. So since I'm going to go visit her for Thanksgiving, I need to be able to finish at least half of the books she gave me and give her back the first 4 in the series. So this one, I haven't read anything about actually, but apparently there's going to be more time traveling fun in Scotland. I'm hoping that this will be a good one. I still need to make a video about my opinions of the Outlander series so far. I was thinking, and I wanted to get your opinions, on having a segment, at least every month, maybe every week or so, maybe every other week, called Series Spoilers or something like that, where I talk about some of the authors that I've read or the series that I've read and include spoilers so that I can explain why I like them or don't like them. And of course, nobody reads in a vacuum, so I'll probably be bringing some of my own personal history to my biases one way or the other. So if you think that that would be an interesting segment, please let me know in the comments below. If you've read some of these books, please let me know what you thought. If you liked them, if you didn't, kind of give me some background on why. And we can have a really fun discussion in the comments below, and I'll be coming back at the end of the month with a list of the ones that I actually got around to reading. I'm hoping I can finish all 10 of these by the end of the month. I am a little worried I won't, just because I've got Thanksgiving coming up, and then my youngest daughter's birthday is actually on Thanksgiving this year. So I've got kind of a lot going on, but I also didn't think I was going to be able to get very much done in October because I was driving for my daughter's school for an entire week. I was a chaperone and a driver all day long, and I still managed to get 22 books in. So I don't know, it could go a whole range of the spectrum. I could read 2 books this month. I could actually end up reading 20 plus books again. We will just see. So you'll have to tune in at the end of the month and let me know what you like, and I'll let you know what I read. So until then, I'll probably post at least 1 or 2 other videos in the meantime. But thank you so much for stopping in, and we'll see you later.